Okay, I think we're recording.
Exciting times.
Hi guys, so this is Lifting with me and Beth. Thank you, Beth. And so we are going to start, and Beth is going to start with the welcome.
Yeah, cool. How have you been over the last few days, Mark? Over the last week?
Over the last week, I've been fine. I have done lots of things and I feel exhausted all of the time.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Just a normal week then?
Yeah. How have you been, Beth?
Yeah, I've had better weeks. My sister has tested positive for COVID. So we're in the house now for the next sort of 2 weeks, but we're trying to stay positive, trying to keep ourselves busy and watch lots of Christmas films. So I think we'll be all right. We'll be all right. Yeah, who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Cool. So I've got a few questions for you, Mark, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So I'm going to speak through a couple of roles, a couple of like hypothetical situations. And what I want to know is if you could pick certain people to fill those roles, who would they be?
Okay.
So the first one being you are creating the world's best boy band. You can choose 4 people to be in that boy band. Who would you pick?
Okay. Dave Grohl. And it'd be interesting to see whether or not he'd go on drums because he's an awesome drummer, or he'd be lead guitar because he's also awesome lead guitarist. Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who is just one of the best bassists in the world. Probably only other one is a bassist from Queens of the Stone Age, but I can't remember his name, so I'm not sure that really counts. Who else would I have? Probably Chad Kroeger from Nickelback and Matt Bellamy from Muse. Which I think that tells you a lot about my taste in music, really.
Yeah,
it?
I'm going to smile and nod and pretend that I've heard of every single one of those people. I have heard of
tell
none
me
of
you've
them.
at least heard of some of those bands.
Did you mention the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
I did mention the Red Hot Chili Peppers, yeah.
I know of them. I won't be able to name a song, but my music taste is limited. Great. So the next question is, you have a limitless budget for a new football team. Which 3 players would you pick first?
No idea because I hate football. All right, let's go for mid-90s because those are people that I vaguely remember from having to feign interest at high school. David Seaman in nets. Eric Cantona in the midfield, and who's a good striker? Pele.
Again, I will smile and nod as if I know who you're talking about.
Okay.
I've definitely heard of Eric Cantona, but I feel like I only know the chant that goes along with his name. I don't actually know how well he plays football.
Okay.
But I think I'd have struggled with that question just as much. So I'm glad you had to answer it, not me.
Okay, thanks.
So next one, you can choose the next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Who would you choose?
Okay, I don't know if you guys will all remember her, and Beth, you may not remember her, but the previous vicar at St Mary's, Jude Smith, I think she'd make an awesome Prime Minister. Just chosen random person out of thin air that, you know.
Well, I trust you. Trust your instincts, Matt. Trust your instincts. And the final one is, you are casting the new James Bond film. Which actor would you choose to play James Bond?
Idris Elba, without a doubt. Okay,
yeah, I know who that is. I reckon I'd agree with you on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
1 out of 4 I can agree with. 1 out of 4 I've got an opinion on. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So, yeah, I mean, next prime minister? Are you gonna? I mean, you must be able to pull someone out of thin air.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like mine would be cheating because I would pull the Prime Minister from New Zealand and make her be, or is she the president over there?
No, she's prime minister because New Zealand's part of the Commonwealth.
Yeah, I'd bring her over and make her be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom as well.
Oh, okay, cool.
She's great.
Yeah. No, I go along with that. Have you got someone you could think of to cast as James Bond, or are you as interested in James Bond as you are in boy bands?
Yeah, I've never watched a James Bond film in my life, so again, I don't really
feel a male actor that you like.
Zac Efron.
Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Okay.
For no
I'm rethinking our friendship completely. That has to be said.
Fair play.
Okay. Right. So this evening we're carrying on talking about people who had encounters with Jesus. And today we are focusing on Mary Magdalene. So I'm going to read something to you guys from the Bible. It's from Matthew 28, verses 1 to 10. And it takes place on the very first Easter Sunday. So here we go. The day after the Sabbath day was the first day of the week. At dawn on the first day, Mary Magdalene and another woman named Mary went to look at the tomb. At that time, there was a strong earthquake. An angel of the Lord came down from heaven, went to the tomb, and rolled the stone away from the entrance. Then he sat on the stone. He was shining as bright as lightning, and his clothes were as white as snow. The soldiers guarding the tomb shook with fear because of the angel, and they became like dead men. The angel said to the woman, "Don't be afraid. I know that you are looking for Jesus, who has been crucified. He's not here. He has risen from the dead, as he said he would. Come and see the place where his body was, and go quickly and tell his followers. Jesus has risen from the dead. He is going into Galilee ahead of you, and you will see him there." Then the angel said, "Now I have told you." The women left the tomb quickly. They were afraid, but they were also very happy. They ran to tell Jesus' followers what had happened. Suddenly Jesus met them and said, "Greetings." The women came up to him, took hold of his feet, and worshipped him. Then Jesus said to them, "Don't be afraid. Go and tell my followers to go on to Galilee, and I will see them there." Okay, so that is our Bible reading. And I've just got a few questions to ask you guys after that story, right? So just if you could post your answers in the comment section below, or you can just, send smoke signals, however you communicate. That would be great. It'd be really good to hear from you. So, question number 1. Is there anything unusual about this story? I can't think of anything unusual, but I'm sure that there might be something unusual. Question number 2. What do you find inspiring in this passage? Question number 3. What does it tell you about how Jesus chooses people? Question number 4. Mary Magdalene was the very first evangelist. How does she inspire you? Okay. Question number 5 is, why do you think Mary was chosen for this role? And I'm just going to read a second passage from John chapter 19 verse 25, just to expand on that a little bit. So John 19:25 says, "Standing near his cross were Jesus' mother, his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Cleopas, and Mary Magdalene." Okay. Next question. Mary obeyed Jesus and went to tell the disciples, but how do you think she felt? Mary stepped up to the role that society would have never given her or trusted her to do. What example is she setting for us today? And the last question is, how could we be more like Mary? Because Mary Magdalene has always been one of my heroes. I think she's absolutely amazing. And in a time and a place where women were told to be quiet and have another baby, she was doing some really amazing stuff. So I am now going to hand over to Beth, who has got a creative response.
Yeah, wonderful. So, sort of in response to taking a bit of time out to think about your responses to Mark's questions, what we want you to do is write a letter to yourself. It doesn't need to be any more than 5 sentences long, something relatively short, but write a letter to yourself, to the 90-year-old version of you. This is an activity that I love doing. This is a bit of a side note, but I love writing letters to my future self. I feel like it's a really good way of like seeing how far you've grown and all that sort of stuff. I do it yearly, just as a bit of a nerd thing to do on New Year's Eve. I always write myself a letter and it gets emailed to me the New Year's Eve after, but that's a different story. We digress. But yeah, so it could be just something a little bit like this. So, dear your own name, insert name here. I hope that you have lived with the courage of Mary, that when the world has given you limitations, you have walked with Jesus straight through them. I hope that you have found hope in the loneliest times and found joy in telling others about Jesus. Love from, again, insert own name here. It'd be really good if at some point we can sort of share those. So it might be something a bit too personal to write in the comments of the YouTube video, but if you want to email them to Mark or something like that, it would be really great to see them. If not, sort of keep it to yourself, keep it as a personal task. That's absolutely fine. But yeah, sort of coming away from this, we can be each other's biggest cheerleaders. When we say no to limitations, like the things that the world says that we can't do, if we say no to that and say yes to the role that God has for us in his story, that's a really inspiring thing to do. And whether we feel sure of the part we've been given to play or not, we've got great opportunities to be like Jesus and live in a way that honours everyone and includes people that society might think are inferior.
Brilliant. Thank you, Beth. Right, we're now going to bring it to a close with a time of prayer. But what I would like us to do is find a little bit of scrap paper. And on your scrap paper, I want you to write anything that you think stops you from being courageous for Jesus. Okay, so for me, what I might write is trying to find a felt tip. Is I occasionally get worried about what people think of me. Okay, so there are times when I'm hanging out with my mates and there comes an opportunity, what people may think of me. So I'm hanging out with my mates and there comes an opportunity in the conversation. Somebody asks something about faith and I'll talk a little bit about it, but I won't go into any great depth. Or I'll meet somebody for the first time and they'll ask me what I do for a living. And I'll tell them it's great, and I'll tell them all the positive stuff, and I tell them all the young people that, but I don't think I'm not sure if I ever go far enough because I don't want people to think I'm one of those crazy Christians, or I don't want people to think that I'm just like a weirdo or anything, or, you know, stranger than I actually am. So what people may think of me, I then want you to ball it up, screw it up, and then throw it in your recycling bin. And I missed. I can't believe I missed from there.
You just shouldn't have said anything. We wouldn't have known that.
I'm a fundamentally honest person, Beth. I can't lie.
Touche.
Okay, the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to write, and this will be this is a challenge for me as someone who's really bad at spelling. Write courage on the palm of your hand. Okay, and this is symbolic act of putting down our fears and taking up Jesus's and Mary's courage. So Jesus was incredibly courageous. He was never afraid to say what he knew that God wanted from us as his creation. And Mary was courageous in the fact that when Jesus said, "Go and tell people that I have risen from the dead, go and share what I have done," she went and did it, and nothing stopped her from doing it. Even though, as I've already said, she was living in a time and a place when it was a woman's place to basically get married, have babies, and be quiet. This was their role in life. And that's not fair, and she broke those boundaries. And I think that we should there are still places in the world where that is what people think women should be, and I think we need to change those opinions. I am going to finish by just saying, asking, are there any prayer requests? So prayer requests can go in the comment section. For me personally, I want to thank God for a brilliant week, and I'm really happy about what's happened in America. At the moment, we have President-elect Biden, who is waiting to take office, and I think that that's really exciting, and it's going to bring about new change, not only in America but in the rest of the world as well. Beth, is there anything you want prayer for this week? Anything you want to say thanks for?
Yeah, I guess I mentioned briefly at the start, but my sister tested positive for COVID, and I just want to thank God for the support that we have. I feel often we take our friends and family for granted when life's going easy and things are sort of plodding on as usual, but it's, I guess, when things sort of feel a little bit tougher, that's when we realise that we've got really great friends and family to support us. And I guess as well, prayer request is just that we both stay relatively healthy as possible when COVID is circulating in the house. But yeah,
okay, we'll pray against any hospitalizations, because that would not be cool.
That would not be cool.
That would not be cool. Okay, so guys, if you are feeling confident and comfortable and courageous enough to share your prayer requests, put them in the comment section. If you'd rather just send them to me, you've got my email address. You can just bob me an email and say, if you could pray for me for this, that will be great. Okay, that brings us to the end of lifting for tonight. Beth, just to double check that everybody knows your news, do you want to just remind everybody of your news?
Yeah. So most of you, I think, know by now, but I'm actually leaving Leeds Faith in Schools. So I won't be around much. I was obviously hoping that the last few weeks would be time that I could spend with you guys in person. But yeah, Boris and COVID have other ideas. But I'll be around for the next lifting. But then, unfortunately, I'll be on my way.
Okay. Josh has come to say hello to everybody.
He looks like you're colour matching.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks very much. Hope you're okay wherever you are, and that we will see you again soon. Take care, guys. God bless. Bye.